My temper didn't even actually falter. Hey, Lauren, we're back. Guys and gals, we're just waiting for a few people to come in. If you're watching this right now, you need to subscribe so that you can comment. This is your ability to have speech in our channel. Just wait for it. It's just not about remembering Americans. If you're from Australia, it's just not about remembering Australians. A lot has happened since the guns fell silent. And now it's our turn to remember them as they gave up their tomorrows for today's. Stand by. We're having an excellent connection. I do not know what's going on here. Wait 2 seconds. Hey, team, how we going? Give us a bit of a sound check there, team. Let us know if this is coming up now, and we'll see if it's going okay. You back? Bloody computers, perfect, Kaz. Okay, it's perfect at the moment. Good to see, good to see, good to hear, and I really appreciate everyone being here. Today is as important, if not more important, as the time goes on for Remembrance Day, which is tomorrow, depending on what your actual country is, and also what your time is. Um, this is such an important day, the day before, because what it does is sets the pretense, the lights the fuse for your day tomorrow. Because I'm telling you now, we have a lot of people in the chat right now who will be heartbroken when they go to work, go to school, go anywhere and see that Remembrance Day feels like it hasn't been remembered. In Sydney alone, tomorrow, of all of the days of the year, Remembrance Day, our school has made it, oh, well, I think it's a worldwide thing, Grandparents' Day. Although that's fairly fitting, they're more in tune, they're closer to Remembrance Day and what it's all about, despite the fact that it encompasses all of us. Remembrance Day is a day that should be left alone. Everything should stop. We can stop this country for the Melbourne Cup, but we can't stop it for Remembrance Day. It's just too hard. Look at this picture I've put here. Your day at the beach because of their day at the beach. Now, I've said some good days to you already. It looks like it's becoming a little bit smoother now. Thank you for being here and thank you for persevering. That's what she said. Chris Krug, Scotty Chador. G'day, mate. Scotty, sorry I haven't got back to you yet. Dave D. We've got Tropical Salt. That's what I like between me toes when I've got my tinea. Arcane. Jay Frey, Carl P. Kaz, we can hear you all the way from Pucker. Good. I hope you got Mossies on your sack. Say g'day to Donna's for me. He's forgiven. He's back in the good books. Mr. Buckaroony, smash the thumbs up straight away, unless your mate's name is Thumbs Up. We've got Lauren here, who's been fantastic in the back play, trying to keep me from, going ballistic on the computer. Now, if I was to ask you what Remembrance Day is about, it'd be very easy to say when the guns fell silent in World War One. It could have been after the Great War when World War Two started, thinking that had never happened again after the Treaty of Versailles failed. It could be Korea, it could be Vietnam, it could be whoever touches you, what jumps out to you. It could be for Germans, it could be for Jewish, it could Jewish people that died in the Holocaust. It could be for people right now who are fighting and dying and reliving the lessons that were not learnt by those that carry the pen in the Ukraine and Russia. Remembrance Day is about the civilians' fault. The purple poppy is about the animals, the horses, the dogs that gave their lives. But we never include the cow who died on the plate every day since. Anyway, Remembrance Day is about remembering. It's about prioritizing those that gave their lives so that we could have tomorrows. Did they go because they wanted to fight? No, they went because they wanted to be part of a great adventure. They wanted because they didn't want to have to face other people and say, no, I didn't have a go. They wanted to go to the scream in the night. The same people that wouldn't allow someone to cry on a bench by themselves before they're going over, put their hand on the shoulder and going, you okay, Cobber? Remembrance Day is about good people who stood up and said, not on my watch, regardless of their language, regardless of Axis or Ally, regardless of the language they spoke or what they were leaving behind. At the end of the day, we need to remember. So we do this tonight. We won't be speaking for long because my Jaxie, it needs to go and drop off a payload, so to speak, B-52. For those that don't know, got a disease while I was serving and hit me in the clacker, probably for teasing sailors about their sexual flavour, so to speak. So tomorrow, this is so that when you go to school, when you go to work, no matter what you do, you might be the leadership on the ground that says, hey guys, smoko, you don't have a choice. This is Remembrance Day coming up in the next 11 minutes. I don't care, boss. This is more important than what this mission is. And maybe unless you're a paramedic. But then the person on the bench is doing the attention stance anyway. James, I watched all your infantry videos, and all that I really want to go is infantry and make Australia proud. Yep, James, and that's fantastic. I thought you were from James Mowing there. James, I will say something, but the really important thing to understand about infantry, about cavalry, about armoured corps, about artillery, about signal corps, buckaroonie, we had to throw that in, is you have to remember why you're going. It is about the mateship. It is about the adventure, and you need to know that when you are serving, that you are appreciated. Because one of the saddest things ever is the heroes of the German army, of the Russian army at the moment. We've got conscripts that are fighting an unrighteous fight who are losing their lives as conscripts and may never be able to look at that as I did what my country asked me to do. I bled, I gave up my tomorrows, I've created horror stories for my family that have to live with me forever, and you're making me the bad guy. None of that was my choice. In every hero, there's a victim. Okay, they might not ever expressed to be thought of that way, but who am I thinking about? Am I thinking about Gordon Chuck, who is still alive with his son, Benjamin Chuck, gone forever with his beautiful smile and all of his life ahead of him? Am I thinking of Maxie Wales that went to school with my mum and dad and lost his life? Am I trying to think of the Boer War for those gallant men that went over to South Africa? Am I thinking about Timmy Applin, a fantastic guy, fantastic father, fantastic operator who lived life fast all the time? Am I thinking about the people that came home and the shrapnel of their memories did more damage than the bullets could, and they lost their lives to their own hands? Whether that be James Meredith Hupp. Okay, if you're there, Jody and Maddie in the USA, I'm thinking about you, mate. Okay, lest we forget. Am I thinking about who? Am I thinking about Simpson's donkey? Am I thinking about the thousands of horses that got turned into meat for Arabs after being at Beersheba? Am I thinking about the dogs that saved lives from the engineers that have given their lives as well? No matter who is in your heart, no matter what you think of, you choose the name that you stick with. But remember that's the most important thing, because there is nothing worse than when you are a serving member and you start to question, what if I fall? If we don't remember better men than me, what's going to happen when it's me? What about all the parents that are still alive now that lost family members in Afghanistan, in Vietnam, in Korea, and all of those places, and they wish just more people would speak their son's name, bring him back to life? Ian Turner, love the guy, he's gone. There's so many of them. Okay, whether you die from kinetic energy, whether you die from an accident, or whether you come home and the black dog takes you, whether you are a civilian in Iraq or Afghanistan, those that are left behind. Remembrance Day has a different flavour for everyone, but you can't be a good soldier until you know why you're soldiering. And that's why it's important to look at Anzac Day. That's why it's important to put your hand up and talk to that old man and wonder, or old woman. They've lived through multiple generations longer than you. What do they know? Wouldn't they love a conversation where you actually give a bit of respect to people that have walked the earth for so many more decades than you? I bet you can learn off every single one of them. Every one of them. Tomorrow, you can choose to be in your lounge chair and watch the service for Canberra. It's fantastic. Okay, you can go for a walk with your dog and go down to your local war memorial. The fact there's so many of them in Australia shows how big the call out was. And think of this. When you look at a high school tomorrow, remember back in World War One, those were the same guys in their senior years that stopped going to school and went and walked, singing songs like "It's a Long Way to Tipperary," and then they bloody ended up either on a horse, okay, or in Egypt when they'd probably never been out of state before with a bayonet, and fighting for their life and for that of their mate. Okay, for those that carried the pen, or at the times of Commonwealth leadership that pushed Australians into the meat grinder more often than not. Kaz, did you get that money that went missing from Patreon? No, it still hasn't come through yet. For those that don't know, Patreon has pissed me off. They've they don't have a phone number you can ring. There's a processing thing, and 2 months worth of your fantastic currency, is still missing from there in a processing error. And they said that we'll get back. They tell you we will get back to you with a week at the least, and don't bug us. So I don't know if that's going to be a problem or not. Dave D, Carl, True Story Sergeant SGI. Why do you have that massive knife? Me, salami knife, Sarge. Roger that. James, I can't school. It's so disappointing how big Anzac Day is, but this is not as big for Remembrance Day. I believe it should be. Remembrance Day is the big day. Yep. Hey, Travis, well done on the Cataflark party tomorrow. Big honour. It is a big honour, mate. But it won't feel like it when your chin strap pops off, when the sweat runs down your forehead, when your itchy toes start screaming. I'd rather be anywhere. But just remember, those that went and those that came back had similar stories. Good on you, Trav. James, I did the Cataflark party for dawn service because I've been at cadets. There you go. It's a great one. It's a great honour. We've got the boys at the moment doing their Cav Scout course down in Puckapunyal. Called out to the lads, take it easy. We're sharing the same sort of role down there. Mounted cavalry as opposed to not even mounted cavalry, because even the Cav don't have swords, do you? You've got the plume, but that plume is ours. Let us know down here, what country are you thinking about? Who are you thinking about? Are you thinking the nurses that lost their lives to the Japanese? Are you thinking about the Japanese who did a perfect catch in Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Maybe you're thinking about the Germans who got firebombed in Dresden. Okay, maybe you're thinking about the US, okay, at Omaha Beach. Maybe you're thinking about the Australians at the Neck, okay, or the Army Reservists, at Wandumi in Dakota Track. There are so many places. Maybe you're thinking about Beersheba, when the guys felt like they'd been doing nothing forever. Then Chevelle and Colonel Grant said, "This is the big one, lads. Make sure your chin straps on. We're going over the top, and we're going to take the Turks' shit. We're going to take the turkey stuff with horses. Gobble, gobble." As a serving member, sometimes we took it for granted ourselves. But now we've had time to ferment as we've become adults. And it's not about the medals that we have, that we've been awarded. It's about remembering our brothers and the friendship and the conversations that we had. It's about the photos we carried in our pockets that we showed to each other, that we showed to the people. And the message that so many don't understand, that the Australian soldier helps more people than he hurts. That service. No one will know how good you are until you're called upon. You know? You got to keep that professionalism, because you never know when you might be the one that has your left arm or your or your right arm absolutely blown out carrying the stretcher while one of your mates is screaming on that. And what is the ultimate bonding mateship than being the person on the stretcher carrying it for your comrade who's had his worst day, and you're trying to get him home to his family within the golden hour? What does remembering mean to you? Probably so many people here that have relatives that got lost. Douglas Caswell from Els, 21 years old, from my hometown. He went over with two other guys from Stockton. Everyone turned out to watch him go. Out of the three, two came back, but Douglas Caswell, our family member, did not. He died from Els. He was a butcher by trade, born in Worcester, over in England. And he left from my hometown, and now I live there. He got off the boat at the Suez Canal, and guess what? Funny enough, in 2008, there I was at the Suez Canal. Following footsteps. Don't think you have to be thinking about just World War I team, World War II. You could go back to Rome if you want. How about everyone that's ever said, not on my watch, bro? Okay, I wish some of our politicians, did their job. We show physical courage. We just want to show a bit of moral courage. Instead of throwing us under the bus. You go out and try to look for a packet of toy soldiers now, you won't even find them. You won't see soldiers in the street. They're doing one of the biggest recruiting drives for Army, Air Force, Navy at the moment. They're treating it like a goddamn joke. I saw one of the videos, people playing around, doing little skits. It's not a game. It's a career of the professional athlete. If we show the face of people looking like they're not taking it serious, like it's just a goddamn game because they're showing the wrong people that look more like some sort of socialism experiment, then that's the sort of people that are going to turn up. And they're the sort of people that can't hack it. They're the ones that are going to lose the pluck because they've been lied to, not because they're lesser. And then we've got to go through it again. And then the taxpayer has to pay. And then retention drops off. G'day, buddy. Come on. Man's best friend, his dog. Hey, Travis, how you going, mate? Welcome to the Voice of the People. What do you got to say, Travis? Can we get some thumbs up for Mr. Travis there? He's just joined us. Good to have you here, sir. Good to have you here. You're going to get promoted in 1 month from now, and your sticker will continue to go up. Enjoy your time at the bottom. Political correctness has caused the downfall of Australia's societal values. It certainly has. Mr. Buckery, trying to get my nephew to go for combat engineer. Why didn't you go to combat engineer, Bucko? You were colourblind, weren't you, mate? What are you going to do tomorrow, team? Are you going to go to work tomorrow and let the people know as you go through the doors of your workspace? Hey, guys, remember, today is Remembrance Day. Are you going to pick up 5 poppies when you go past the RSL trying to sell them tomorrow from Legacy and go, give me 5, and then go out and go put it on your goddamn shirt? If you're a tradie, imagine how good that would be as your apprentices come in and go, where's your poppy, dickhead? Lucky I got one for you. That's why I'm the boss. Boom, put that on. What are we trying to remember? And give them a little bit of a heads up. Something that's bigger than us. All we need is the winds of change. And those apprentices are going to swap their tools for other tools real goddamn fast. And that's the bet. That's the fact, Jack. Don't think this is not going to come back to Australia. We're just lucky we're surrounded by the biggest moat in the world. It's an absolute privilege to serve in the uniform beside other volunteers. An absolute privilege. It's got its ups and downs, that's for sure. But tell me something that hasn't. And I still can't find someone who regrets enlisting in the Australian Army. That's how I ended up in SIGs. I was at it. Kaz currently in the process of transferring from Surcat 5 to 7. Appreciate a lot of the advice you've given. It's been super helpful. Just be careful you don't fall away from the system, Oz, because if you do, maybe you can't ever get back in. You won't realise what you've missed till you're gone. The Sworn Defender says, Lauren, we ended up having a baby boy on the 28th of the 10th. 3.6 kilos, named him Tyler. That's a good name, Tyler. Bonnie Tyler. Total eclipse of the heart. That's right. Oh my gosh, Swan, congratulations. Yes. Can we get some thumbs up there for little Tyler? Please, team. Get some thumbs up from there. Thanks, Kaz. I've been a subscriber for a while now. I thought it about time to start giving back now I can. That's all right. We're just happy to have you here, mate. And you look good in green, sir. You look good. So many babies. And that's one of the saddest things. The bravest people are the first ones to lift their hands. Let's talk about Ukraine at the moment. The bravest people say, not on my watch, we're going to defend this country. Putin made a big mistake. He pushed Ukraine when they'd said, we'll never get pushed again. And now he's seen it. He's getting the horns. But of all those gallant, brave men of the Ukraine that are fighting against the conscripts, again, most of them very brave as well, and a very, very sad horror story that they're living through, the conscripts. Very sad. Let down by their own military, by their own officers, let down by their own country. And no one's going to be there to clap them on the back and say, good job. No, but how many of these people fall or go home broken to a family that still needs them in some of the poorest countries in the world, or the babies that are never born, or what's more sadder than someone who's never had their first kiss, never known what it's like to be to know what love is. What is love? Everyone deserves a divorce. Sworn offender. This is my second, mate, but never had to deal with my son as a newborn. There we go. It's the best thing in the world. Having a child, you wouldn't think so when a massive proportion of the midterm elections, the pressing principle, I won't go too far into that, was the abortion topic. I don't understand it. All of these people would love to have had their life back. And here we've got the more gentler gender more concerned about getting rid of them before they've had a chance to breathe. It's disgusting. The first baby is 38 in 2 days. Holy shit, you're showing your age. They grow up so quickly, they do. Sworn defender, thanks team. Yep. Lauren is awesome. Mum is doing great. C-section, yep. Oh, geez. That feels like it's easier on the natural birth, but then they pay back with their sore tummy, don't they? Yeah, Dr. Oz got his ass kicked by someone that should have been Dr. Oz's patient. Didn't make sense. But that's because they actually had voted up to 5 weeks ago before he actually came out after the doctor lied about his condition. So they never saw him in the debate. Achilles, come here. Come here. Come on. Man's best friend. Come here, bud. Come here. They probably want to see you more than me, actually, mate. Oops. Sorry, buddy. There you go. You know about the purple poppy. I hope you never earn it. Okay. Smokey. Oh, I tell you what, when you're overseas, mate, there is nothing better than having a dog nearby. Yeah. Smokey B, I'm glad Ron is back in Florida. Mate, he done a stellar job, and I think it's going to get addictive. And he's invited everyone to come over and see what it's like to live in some sensibility. Smokey B, sworn defender, they told me nothing bad would happen during the live fire. Ready. Knowledge, I'll be keeping you all in my prayers and sending good vibes to you all. Hey, Lukey, how you going, mate? G'day, Achilles, says Mr. Buckaroony. He's a fluff ball that tastes like chicken. This is not gay at all. Love you, buddy. Love you. I'm going to take you for a long walk in a minute. Lots of veterans with dogs the other day at Oasis in Townsville. Yeah, they've got a soft spot, don't they? So you've got a soft spot, and that's Mum and Dad and Denny, because tomorrow he starts his drive, okay, from Cairns all the way down to Adelaide. He's trying to get away from the heat. Okay, mate, I get it. You're not gay. You don't want to sit on Dad's lap. There we go, buddy. Love you. Yeah. It's a little bit of a tough day for me, team, because we live in Penrith at the moment, and we've got Luke Gavin from the 2nd Battalion Royal Australian Regiment who lost his life. Okay, he's got kids. okay, that still go to school, I believe, in Penrith too. I wonder if anyone knows that we've got uh, actual widows living in Penrith still, like current. Um, and to know that when my little girl goes to school tomorrow and she knows her dad's a soldier and the school knows I'm a soldier and was a soldier, am a soldier, and the fact that the priority is going after Grandparents' Day, it could have been any day of the year, but Remembrance Day, come on, come on, team. It's not. I don't know. I don't know. Do we have to learn the lesson again? Lenny Smith, what advice to have for a teacher who has a student whose father was killed while serving? Oh shit! For tomorrow, um, Landy, man, that is so. How old is the kid, mate? That's a really important. That he has in the past become very angry and upset. Oh, dude, Landy, I'd say all you need to do is acknowledge. I'd go up to him and I'd spend a moment with him, Landy, and I'd just say his name is Mike. I'd go, Mike, you know, today is all about you, young fella. Would you like to, with your permission, get up, and just express what your dad meant to you, and understand that we have people that wear the uniform daily, okay, that are there ready to represent you with all you need to have a better tomorrow as well. The freedom isn't free. Little things like your day at the beach, okay, because of their day at the beach. The same people 100 years ago, less than, that went over the top had been at the school only weeks earlier. People went as young as 14 and 15, dodged their documents, went on over. Very, very sad. I would give him the respect of just letting him know that his father, that and acknowledge his loss. And I dare say then it's time for you to just close your ears for a sec, let him talk, see what he can do so that he feels like he's empowered. And then maybe say to him, do you mind if I sit down with you and have some lunch? Maybe take something in for him. Take him a can of Coke and go and give it to him and go, mate, I know you're not allowed to drink alcohol at the moment, but why don't we lift one of these each, one of these cold ones? I'll have a Pepsi so I taste the feel of, of, of the pain and just share a moment with him, mate. It might be something that illuminates him and it might bring him back from the brink of thinking that no one cares and understanding how important it is. As a matter of fact, at the moment, if you've got a drink, I think it's fitting. I've got to get going in a minute to get near the toilet roll so I can make it smaller. And I'd just like to say quickly, guys, I think it's time for a minute's silence. And the way we would normally do that is a platoon sergeant will come out to a platoon, whether it be in the field, whether it be in a training environment, or whether it be on operations. And we'll have that soft moment because everyone's got a different experience, different story, different anecdotal understanding of what Remembrance Day means to them. And they could have family members from Germany. They could have family members from Turkey. Okay, always remember, if the Turks were charging the foothills of Sydney, we wouldn't let them do it. They didn't let us do it at the Dardanelles. They weren't our enemy. We didn't know them. So keeping in respect to all of those that lost their life when the guns fell silent and the conflicts that continued after, and those that are losing their lives today being used for entertainment on YouTube, which is sick. I'd like to say they shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. And age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. And at the going down of the sun and in the morning, tomorrow we will remember them, lest we forget. Don't be the one that lets others forget. Help me to help them to remember. That's why I'm on tonight instead of tomorrow. You don't have to be in your best clothes. But you do have to take that minute. You need to spend it in silence, contemplating the names. Look them up on Google. Just start reading names off, It doesn't have to be someone you've ever touched or known. Because when you talk about someone from the Boer War, when you talk about someone from World War One, World War Two, someone from another country, okay, you're bringing them back to life. The spark of recognition that they didn't die for nothing. Mm. Yep. Lest we forget. Appreciate all the response and support. Landy, it's going to be a hard day, mate. It'll be a lot harder for him. Okay, let him out of his misery, that young fella. Okay, and have a talk with him so he realizes that his dad matters. Yep. There is nothing that gets taught at your school tomorrow that is more important than that kid's words. Thank you. Appreciate you taking the time. I'll make sure I do that. Agreed. Just give him time and respect. Absolutely. Uh, Cutting peppers, lest we forget. All you can do, Landy, is tell them the importance of it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? You can do something else here, Landy. You can let them know if they ever want to reach out to me on the bat phone, which I need to make an announcement to you. Remember, it used to be white. There'll be more on that. We've got a brand new bat phone. Brand new. Lest we forget. Yep. We don't forget. We don't forget. Guys and gals, I think it's time to go. I think it's time to remember our freedom wasn't free. Remember the fat lady hasn't sung yet. It's going to happen again. And to those that carry the pens, you should be putting one of your kids in uniform so that you weigh the weight of your love for your child when you make decisions about the future of Australian conflict. Look after your family, love your family, don't take people for granted. And I hope that this seems like a foreign concept to you because you haven't been touched by it. I hope so. It's not hard to do a little bit of investigation and realise we've lost more than 103,000 men, okay, and a handful of nurses. But more than 80 million people have died across World War One and World War Two. Okay. A lot of them didn't wear uniforms. It touches everyone. So let's not be in a hurry to start up shit with Ukraine and Russia, not understanding that Franz Ferdinand assassination started World War One. Let's not push a fight. Let's push peace. Peace is harder, okay? But it's better that people don't know what their life could have been and how short it would have been if we don't take a chance at peace. All right. Every soldier should dream of peace, especially if you've seen what war looks like. See you later, team. And all the best to your family members and to all the customs and traditions that maintain the love of the uniform, the rising sun, and for everything and all the footsteps that have been walked by our lovely men, women, and children, okay, the families of those that support, and the little puppies' paws that are training to save our engineers and uniform members in the future. Okay. Also, a tip of the hat to the horses that lost their lives too. See you later, guys and gals. Sorry about tonight's debacle at the start, and it's always a pleasure being here for you. Sorry it's been a bit of hiatus. For those that don't know, I've got a few trips to the hospital coming up, you know, and all because of me sailors plug hole. See you later. I still call Australia home. Love it and respect it. See ya. Sworn Defender, great name. Thanks, Lauren. Thanks, guys and gals. And for those in Pucker, get it up. Lest we forget tomorrow, hold people accountable. Otherwise, we forget.